What's up, Polytopians? Got another replay commentary here for you today. This one was Zebasi versus Kickoo that I played a while ago. I can't even remember when. But oh yeah, I guess we're getting straight into this. Yes, my opponent's very interesting move he made on his first turn, going for an explorer first, and obviously I'm going for a standard leveling up. Obviously, I definitely don't recommend that. Like, sometimes explorers can give a lot of value early on in the game, but you're losing out on the workshop. That's 1 star per 10 for the rest of the game. That's just such a ginormous amount of money to lose out on. Even if the explorer reveals your opponent on the first turn, then maybe it's worth it. But only on the tiniest of map should you even consider that. And it would also probably have to be dry lands as well. But even then, workshop is so good. But yeah, I'm just going for standard leveling, taking as many workshops as I can. As the spawns are quite interesting. This is mainly because the Kickoo increased the amount of water on the map. I think by 40% of Kickoo's terrain is water, or 40% more than usual. I don't know exactly. I just know the wiki says 40%. I don't know what it means 40% of. It was a while ago since I checked. Yep, got to take those resources. So I think so far we've both gotten like 3 cities. This is a fairly even spawn. I think, well, a spawn like this, usually the fact that Kickoo starts with fishing makes water-based spawns good for them. Oh, actually, he hasn't actually gotten his 3rd city yet, so maybe mine's a little bit better, I would say. But then he also does have access to a 4th quicker, so that kind of evens it out. I'm going to continue leveling. I don't know if I've taken, not sawmills, what's the windmill? I don't know if I've taken them yet. Probably not, it's a bit too early for that. But that's this city over here. Well, you can't see it right now because it's not my turn. But that city is, I would say, it's a very, very nice city right here. Because it's like really close to him, but at the same time he just cannot reach it. It's just completely surrounded by water, and it's Kickoo being in the game which made a spawn like that happen. But I would say it's really good for me and not very good for him. I bet he's pretty good. Although he doesn't yet know that he can't reach it because he obviously doesn't have vision yet. Although we have just met each other, our warriors. I said hi to each other down over there. Oh, but his one doesn't want to be friends, so it's leaving. Okay, that was lucky. They got population, the best thing you can possibly get from a ruin. Again, I on a non-coastal city, I see it like that. It's not worth expanding borders unless you get a really good sawmill spot or something for it. Right, so okay, these warriors, they've had a falling out. They're no longer friends. But I'm able to get my... I think the reason I'm able to get a giant so much faster than him is because he took that explorer on the first turn. And man, look at that. Look at that. This is the kind of city that you want to expand borders on. It's huge. Usually coastal ones are a good choice, and also ones so close to the enemy's lines. That's because I've actually cut off a bunch of tiles from him being able to take that. That's already crippled his city over there. He's not going to be able to easily level it up twice without using ports, which are a very expensive way to get levels. Also, my warriors are reaching the top of the map before he's able to, so in terms of expansion, I'd say I'm ahead. Although I have 3 warriors, the back 2 warriors aren't really accomplishing anything up there, so I think I did build a few too many. I think we're going to sack that rider for vision next turn. So he got a defender from his ruin, not defender, veteran swordsman from his ruin. That's not, I don't think that's really a good, unless it's like right near your opponent, you can put pressure on with it immediately. It's not a very good thing to get, so I definitely got a lot luckier with my ruin than he did. I'm going to be leveling up that city up there. Get those first 2 up. I could have considered an explorer there, but again, if I already know where my opponent is and the explorer is not going to reveal them, then I don't think it's ever worth it. Vision on your opponent that you wouldn't be able to get otherwise is what explorers are for. Okay, he's able to snipe my rider over there and walk forward, but I'm sure by now he's aware that. Alright, there he gets vision of that city. Like, he's really behind in levels. I think a big part of that is the money he lost out. I definitely think that was just one small misplay, which is actually costing him so much. Because it's turn 10 right now. He's missed out on 10 stars so far by not taking that workshop. That's crazy. It's crazy how important that first workshop is. It's like the main reason Eco Tribes are so overpowered. because they get twice as much money as other tribes do, starting from the first turn. Well, the second turn, but turn 1 is technically the second turn. Okay, yeah, population. I did consider, but I usually favour population over expand borders. Only a city like this down here. This is the kind of city that you can't pass up expand borders on. Right, he's continuing to get vision of, but a land push is not really viable for him. So he should really be, Kickoo already favours naval combat, and especially since now the only way to reach my city is through with boats. He should really be rushing for that as fast as possible. I assume that what he was going for, because that's usually what Kickoo's going for. That is what Kickoo do. Although now there's a lot less whales since. Although technically that wasn't a Kickoo nerf, but it basically was, to reducing the amount of whales that spawn. Kickoo used to get some crazy fast boats. Okay, I think the fact that he spawned pretty far inland is actually bad. Normally that's not so bad, but if you're playing Kickoo, I would definitely think you'd prefer to spawn closer to the coast. So that's definitely unfortunate for him. Continue to take that. I don't think I've taken a single explorer this game. You can just, if you don't know when to take explorers, I would say just never take them. You can never go wrong with workshop. You can easily go wrong with explorers. With workshop, you never can. So. Although this is, again, and same with population. Expand borders on coastal cities that are going to grab a lot of tiles. But apart from that, always take population, I would say. It's just a general rule. Oh, he's good. He's getting very unlucky with these ruins. I don't think Veteran Swordsman is a great thing to grab. So this is also an exception. This is, I probably wouldn't have taken expand borders. But when you're getting a sawmill spot like that for it, I think it's acceptable to take expand borders there. Although, but like, look at this is definitely not a good move. The amount of chopping he does right now. To buy a catapult, not even to get a giant out to get a city level up. That's like, okay, maybe it's worth it, but probably not. But to buy a catapult, but before I say anything more, he did actually have this planned out a lot better than I thought he did. Because obviously I had vision of that catapult. I was like, what's he doing? One catapult's not going to stay. I hadn't seen the other. So I am able to siege a city. It's not really cutting off that much income. That city wasn't making that much to begin with. Ooh, some whales. Whales are nice. I don't think he actually got any whales himself, so that's a bit unfortunate for him. It's weird because I'm actually getting most of the benefits Kickoo's supposed to get. I feel like my spawn feels like the Kickoo spawn here, which is really unfortunate for him. Although Zebasi doesn't really have any benefits for going for naval warfare. Their tech is like really out of the way on the tech tree. It doesn't really line them up to get anything else, and their farms are more expensive. So although they are an eco tribe, I'd probably say they're the worst eco tribe. Although like that's not saying much. All eco tribes are insane. They're miles ahead of the others, and Zebasi is no different. But of all the eco tribes, I would say Zebasi and Kickoo are both a little bit weaker than Imperius and Bardo. Because Imperius and Bardo generally, they get cheap. They get a lot of resources and very cheap. Okay, but I have to pause here. That was very bad. I did not know that 3 catapult shots and 1 hit from a swordsman was able to kill a giant. So that, I don't know if maybe he used a damage calculator for that. Or maybe he just took a gamble. That's actually pretty nice for him, I'd say. Because he was able to snap. I didn't think he was actually going to be able to take that giant down. Or I probably wouldn't have sent it in. Well, actually, no. I don't think I even sent it in with the intention. I was just trying to like rush it over to him as fast as possible because I saw his capital was really low level, so I assumed he was he was not rushing for giants, which he isn't. He's rushing for catapults. I should just expect that by now. That's most people do rush catapults, it seems. Well, if you play random matches, most people do. And I am getting real sick of seeing them, to be honest, but. This dude, he's not going overboard with them, that's the thing though. He's using catapults, so far he's using catapults in moderation. But the thing is, like as Kickoo, you really want those ships. Like already, boats are usually how you win the late game. With any tribe really. And that's Kickoo's main benefit. Although they're, compared to Imperius and Bardo, they have less resources. But favouring a naval playstyle is... that alone is just enough of a benefit to kind of make up for that. The fact that they don't really have that many forests, they don't have that much fruit or animals. And having increased fish isn't that big of a deal. Because fish, I don't think fish are as good of a resource. But, so he's playing Kickoo like they're barter. And I think he'd just be better off playing barter if he was going to play like this. Okay, yeah, what am I doing here? Okay. Now I'm getting my point. Like, see here. Our roles should really be reversed here. I'm playing the Kickoo playstyle as Zebasi over here, and he's really playing a lot more like barter, which is a bit odd. Ooh, getting a third whale there. So I don't know if taking expand borders for one whale is worth it. If you've already bought whaling tech, then maybe expand borders for a single whale is worth it. You need at least 2 or 3 whales if you're going to buy whaling tech, because if you include the price of the tech and the free population you're missing out on. I would say you need at least 2 to 3 whales for whaling to be worth it. Unless you get it really early on while it's cheap. Okay, I'm continuing to churn out super units. So far he's actually only got 1. But he's got catapults, so can't really move in with those giants here. Yeah, so the same way I can't assault him by land, he can't really he can't assault me by land, but I can't assault him by land either. So really, it is just a rush to the ocean, which so far I think I'm winning that. Well, but catapults, if they catapult stay inland, it can be quite hard to push in. But I think he's a bit too aggressive with them later on. Okay, he's getting a second giant out here, and he's taking these cities in the top. He might have been able to get them faster, but I'd say this is still a reasonable time from. Like, he's not super behind or anything. He still has chances in the game. That's a good city to get city walls, especially if you know, like, he can see that I have boats out. This city is very vulnerable. That's definitely a city you want city walls in. I completely agree with that decision. Okay, I'm buying up some tech now. I don't think I actually build any battleships this turn. That's just so I can move my boats in. Also, I think I make a minor mistake. Like, over here, when I start shooting them, these boats, they do like no damage. All that did was give him information of how many boats were around there. I'm just giving him free intel. That was definitely a mistake on my part. I should have kept those boats all a secret and then all fired when they're upgraded next turn. Because I'm just giving him information right now. And information is a valuable currency. Okay, you can see he's going for a slow land push over here. A catapult and giant land push. But how many turns is it going to take him? Boats will be able to fire on them all the time. They're always going to be vulnerable to boats rushing in and sniping the catapults because of how much water is over here. And it's going to take that giant because he can't use roads to boost it. This is actually super. This city is crazy. How it defends all these back cities over here. How many tiles he has to walk through before he can reach the cities? 1, 2, 3, 4. It would take 5 turns from now. And he can't speed that up with roads. Or I guess hypothetically, he could build roads around the edge, but it's just really not optimal. This is a crazy good city. That's like one of the best cities I think I've ever seen. But it wouldn't be such a big deal if he had gone for boats himself. Okay, yeah, over there, I'm able to siege that city over there. But like, this is just the thing about catapults. The catapult, he can only have them in one location because you need a critical mass of catapults. He can only be down here. These boats can be wherever they need to be. That's the thing about battleships. They hit really hard. They move really fast. If you build them from giants, they have really high health. Like every statistic, they are just incredible in. They're very expensive, but when you're getting a unit that excels in every way, it's completely worth it. I think they're planning to rework naval units at some point. They definitely need to because battleships are busted. They're so good. Giant battleships. That's the reason I don't like any of the special tribes. I think all the special tribes are weaker than a normal tribe because giant battleships are so powerful. The only one which can compare, I'd probably say, is Simantai. But even them, that's mainly on land because they have quite a strong early game on land. Like you can see, these catapults here, they're too close. This is too close. Like he can see these battleships now. Also, I also need to talk about this move right here. So normally, like leveling up your city before your opponent gets it is a bit iffy, but that was actually kind of a cool play. He took the explorer and he actually ended up getting vision of all of my cities up there. If he wasn't already so far behind, I think that's actually a really interesting move. I've never seen. He has a very cool playstyle. I think he takes explorers a bit too often, but this was really cool. This is a really cool playstyle this guy had. I just think maybe if he played barter, He'd be a lot better off though, is the thing. Although, I get it, it's kind of boring to play Bodder. Maybe he just plays too much Bodder. I think everyone gets bored of Bodder eventually. Hey, that kind of rhymed. But yeah, obviously, yeah, you can see, once battleships have reached this critical, like, catapults have a critical mass that can always be stopped by, like a single knight can always stop it. A critical mass of battleships is actually invincible. So at this point the game is like well and truly over. So yeah, I think my opponent's going to resign next time. I'm also able to take that city over there. Just going to level it up. It's just, I don't know, it's never stop with those levels, like, they're just so satisfying. Again, I don't think I took a single explorer. So he took too many explorers. I would probably say I didn't take enough explorers. Like, you should definitely get an explorer in the mid game to try and get vision of your opponent's back cities. But again, I'm just greedy. I always go for maximum stars. But yeah, like, apart from, I really think that one mistake, like, really, that was like really a big mistake, because he definitely should not have lost this quickly. He played pretty well. Like, it was a good play. I think if he just taking workshop on the first turn, I think would do wonders for this guy's ELO. Because, well, not that ELO matters anyway, but okay, let's say it's turn 19. That's 19 stars he missed out on through the course of that game. Starting with that mistake on turn 1. That little bit of vision he got of those two cities, which, like, your warriors are already going to, like, head out in the direction and claim the cities eventually. It didn't speed up the capturing of any cities, and it lost him 19 stars over the course of the game. It was an absolutely devastating mistake. But apart from that, it was still a good K. During the mid game, at first I was a bit worried about this catapult push, but I really think I really lucked out with the city spawn, so I can't really blame him for that. I just got really lucky here. It was a good game apart from that. Right, peace out, Polytopians.